TVC Sport Desk.
But the race for the biggest soccer competition in the world, the 2026 FIFA World Cup tournament, hotting up with countries hoping to qualify for the Mundial. Indeed, apart from the host, the United States, Canada, and indeed Mexico, defending champions La Albiceleste of Argentina are already through to the World Cup tournament. What about Iran, Japan, and indeed talk about some of the big names in world football? They are all picking tickets to the soccer fiesta. What about the Super Eagles of Nigeria? We will indeed take a look at the chances of Africa's most populous black nation on earth, Nigeria, and the 2026 FIFA World Cup Mundial. Coming up on the show today. Africa Cup of Nations. It's all about the NBA, and LeBron James was awesome for Lakers as he came to their rescue. And Raducanu is out of the Miami Open. We shall be telling you all that went behind the scene as far as the center court is concerned for Raducanu and other happenings in the world of sports.
Got it. Get a little lucky here with the net court.
TVC Sport Desk.
Well, certainly we start with the Super Eagles and the question marks at this stage about the chances of the green and white color and the green and white flag of Nigeria being hoisted at the soccer fiesta in the year 2026. Canada, United States, Mexico, all hosting the Mundial. But then, all hope, like they say, isn't lost. But let's take a look at what the players have been doing on the pitch. From the manager to the players and the football administrator, Nigerians have been asking questions. Where did we get it wrong? But before we take a look at those fixing the blame, let's fix the solution. What are the chances of Nigeria qualifying for the soccer fiesta in 2026? Eric Chell is the manager of the side, and it was brought in by the Nigeria Football Federation to indeed qualify Nigeria for the Mundial. The Eagles went ahead in their game against the brave Warriors of Zimbabwe, who are bottom in Group C, and certainly they could not hold on to that lead. And some of the things Nigerians have been saying is, who suffer the most should the Eagles fail to qualify for the biggest soccer fiesta coming up in the US, Canada, and Mexico? Certainly, we start with the players' career. It is indeed high time that the players understood how important it is for them to be in the FIFA World Cup competition. This indeed raises the profile of any footballer, and it is the dream of any footballer to play in the Mundial. It is the dream of any footballer to play in the World Cup. And that's why in the eyes of FIFA, till date, a player like Edson Arantes do Nascimento Pelé remains the greatest player in the eyes of FIFA. Forget what others may have said in terms of comparing Pelé, Maradona, Ronaldo, and the likes. At the age of 17, Edson Arantes do Nascimento Pelé scored at the FIFA World Cup competition in the year 1958 when Sweden hosted the FIFA World Cup tournament. Until date, Pelé remains the only player, living or dead, to have scored a hat-trick at the age of 17 in the FIFA World Cup competition. Until date, he remains the only player to have scored a hat-trick in the FIFA World Cup tournament at that age. So it's always the dream of players anywhere in the world to play on the biggest stage. Will Nigeria be there? Can the Eagles fly? Do we have any business drawing that match against the brave warriors of Zimbabwe? These are some of the questions being asked. Is it all about the players? Are the players not good enough? Couldn't the players just manage the situation? But the brave warriors also came, and indeed they wanted to get something from that encounter. And indeed they were happy that they got a point against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Now, some of the politicking of the pitch is on. 4 games left, and there is a chance. But some of the worries are that even one of our opponents, Lesotho, will indeed be playing their own match in South Africa. Does this favor Nigeria? Certainly no. But then let's see if that slim chance, very, very slim chance, will indeed give way to the Super Eagles to pick a ticket. But like psychologists will say, they use 75% of past behavior to judge future behavior. And if we take a look at the trend, the struggle of the Super Eagles in the World Cup campaign, a lot of persons will want to give up on the Super Eagles playing at the Mondial. But can the players rally together? Can they get the job done? Is it too late? Some will say it is not over until it is over. Let's see if the Eagles will indeed be at the Mondial. But then we'll be talking to an ex-international shortly. Jide will be telling us about the Eagles, what it was like in the past, what is missing today, and what can be done. Do we lack leadership in the Super Eagles? Well, I understand that Jide is on live on the show. Jide, it's nice to have you on the program Sports Desk.
Yes.
Well, Jide, if you can hear me, let's indeed take a look at what it's been like in the qualifying race for the Super Eagles. Well, I understand that certainly Jide will be joining us shortly, but Busola Akinyemi is on live, and he will be talking to us on the withdrawal of Cote d'Ivoire from the AFCON Under-20 Championship. But it's a live situation. Let's indeed go back to Jide before we'll come back to Busola. Busola will be talking to us on the Under-20 Championship. Jide, quickly, let's take a look at the Super Eagles. Questions have been asked by 200 million Nigerians. We drew against Zimbabwe. We had a chance to get the 3 maximum points. But like they say, it's not over until it is over. The brave warriors in the 90th minute equalized. You donned the green and white color of this country. You played for Nigeria. And from what you've seen so far, is it a matter of hunger? Do you think the players are not hungry enough to indeed qualify Nigeria for the World Cup? Or is it leadership? What's your take?
Promise, thank you for having me on the show. I was at the stadium. I watched I bought both games as well. And you can't fault the boys for lack of trying. I saw a Super Eagles team that was different. In the new coach, we have a fantastic tactician. He had a few sessions with the boys, and you could see immediately that the way we play is different. I think in Uyo, we must have had so many chances, more than we've had in the last 4 years. I'm telling you, I've been watching Super Eagles. Now, the boys, some of them have to understand the African way. Sometimes this kind of games, if you ask me, Promise, all you need is just the 3 points. Doesn't matter whether we play good or not. We just need to back the 3 points and go. And on the pitch, you need the captains, the leaders, and the men. This is when the coach gives you his instructions, but you know, hey, you don't need anybody to say anything. You just go look at each other and say, look, I'm fighting for you. I got your back, you got mine. The boys were visibly tired. They went to Kigali. They played in high altitude. I know a lot of people will say, well, the Zimbabweans have also played 3 games in 3 days. But I know when we played, we had infusions, we had things. We've discussed this with some of the people that matter, that what we need to look at, because you can see that the boys were visibly tired towards the end of the game. And if you see the goal that we conceded, it was just tired legs everywhere. I mean, what stopped us from giving away a foul somewhere on the pitch there? So it's just that ruggedness, that ruthlessness, that naughty nature where you need to win this kind of games. You pack the bus and you're naughty. I think that was what was missing. But the boys will have learned so much from this game, trust me, because when they're faced with this kind of situation next time, they know how to navigate it. And I know that we're looking towards South Africa dropping points as well. That could help us as well. But I'm confident, promise, if you ask me, that we're going to make it. If we play the way we played in the last 2 games, and luck being on our side, because you need it in football, I've been there many times, we would definitely be there. We would be there.
Well, Jide, you just made some points. But in a nutshell, I would want to understand something critically. You said you saw the boys. You went Rwanda also. But you will agree with me, after Nigeria missed the last edition of the World Cup in Qatar 2022, and with the way things are, South Africa has the edge. The South African fans are happy with the way things are. They are almost all and dry as far as the World Cup race is concerned. Will you agree that history will not remember most of these players anymore should they not qualify for the biggest stage, talking about the Mondial, the World Cup?
Oh, yes, I mean, absolutely. You can see the boys were shattered after the game. They were inconsolable. I don't want to mention names. Some of them actually burst into tears because they understand the implication of not going to the World Cup. Some of them, 80% of that team, they will probably never have another chance after this. And we know how painful it was. I mean, the world wants to see Nigeria at the World Cup. Last World Cup missed us. We missed them as well. So the world wants Nigeria, our culture, our football, what we bring to the occasion. Hey, they want to see our talents on display as well. So yes, if they're not there, trust me, these boys will be the most pain. So they want to be there and they want to make Nigerians feel good, because I think now they're beginning to understand what the football actually means, to Nigerians. Most of them grew up in the diaspora, but now they're understanding the culture and everything. And I know they're going to do everything possible. And I trust the management, the NFF, the Sports Commission. We were all together there. Everybody felt the pain and everybody's rolled up their sleeve and said, look, we all sat down and said, look, we have Nigeria on our necks. We know what we have to do. I know a lot of them were disappointed as well, but hey, let's use this disappointment as the motivation to go forward. And I tell you again, if this coach is given the free hand to work with these boys, in 3, 4, 5 games, we will see a different Nigeria. And again, I say, if some of those chances went in the first half, where we say if in hindsight, we will be singing a different tune. So I'm very positive and optimistic. I don't want us to be naysayers. I know that, yes, we wanted the win, but they've learned from this, trust me. And I'm hoping that the next 4 games will do us proud. The boys will do us proud.
I'll come to you with the next 4 games. I don't know if you have a crystal ball. I don't know if you're an eagle that can see very far away. I don't know if I should call you Prophet Jide. I only know you played football for Nigeria. 4 games to go, Jide.
Yes.
As a broadcaster, I am not happy with what I'm seeing with the Super Eagles. It affects the economy. In the course of the AFCON tournament, Nigerians died while watching the Super Eagles. It shows the amount of emotions attached to watching the Super Eagles. And as an individual, I also give myself a few advice. I would also stay away a bit, taking a look at the emotional trauma and the drama. But with these 4 games coming on, and from what you've seen in the past, Jide, can you say 100% that the Eagles will be at the 2026 FIFA World Cup?
Oh, well, one famous person said years ago, and I quote him, the world makes way for he who knows where he's going. What I see with this team and the management is we have a clear direction. With the appointment of the coaches, with the appointments Mr. President has made, I met with some of my colleagues. You know, we know Joseph Yobo is coming into the team as well to help closely. We have the Sports Commission working closely as well. So, you know what? I tell you again, you know, with all confidence that if we continue to work hard, which I believe the boys will do, and if we continue to support the coaches, you know, I don't see why we will not be there. I think what we need to do now is just step back. We've gotten to the point where every game is a final. So we take the games one by one. Let's not go 4 games. Let's go the first game, first 90 minutes. Then we look up again, next 90 minutes, and then the next 90 minutes. And at the end of it, we take stock. And I believe in these boys, you know, that they will do it because they are spent, you know, as we are as well. And they understand what it means for the Nigerian to be at the World Cup. So again, they share your pain, and I share your pain as well. I mean, condolences to those who lost their lives and the families. It's always tragic when it happens. But football is a religion in Nigeria. And, you know, we as footballers, we're ambassadors, ex-footballers, everybody, we're ambassadors of that project to ensure that Nigeria is at the World Cup and, you know, we bring a smile to the faces of Nigerians.
Well, you heard it from Jide there. He confirmed that Joseph Yobo, and during his A days, especially at Everton Football Club, at some point in time, he held the captain's armband for Everton Football Club. And they call him the man in the middle in England. But back home in Nigeria, those who know Joseph Yobo very well, if you see him, call him Ogoni Blankets. He will indeed give you a smile. And then let's see what Joseph Yobo will be able to add to the team. And should the Eagles qualify for the World Cup, I would be back to call Jide Prophet. Jide, I must say a very big thank you for talking to us on the program Sports Desk.
You're welcome. Apologies for saying promise. I thought promise was...
It's okay, it's fine. This is me, and many thanks, Jide. It's always a pleasure. I called you late, and it's always nice to see that you're always there to indeed talk to us. No matter how little the time is. Well, if you've just tuned in, you're watching the program Sports Desk, still talking football at this point in time. Let's take a look at the Under-20 tournament on the continent of Africa. And in the eyes of CAF, talking about Cote d'Ivoire, they were expected to host the tournament. But as we speak, they've withdrawn from hosting the 2025 Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations just weeks before the commencement of the tournament. And you know the Nigerian Flying Eagles are in Group B. Already, CAF are talking to Egypt to see if they can host the championship. Well, Busola Kinyemi is a FIFA intermediary. He joins the show all the way from London as we indeed take a look at what this means, you know, to the continent of Africa. We've seen players go to Europe after playing at the under-17 and under-20 level. Well, Busola, it's nice to have you on the program Sports Desk.
Busola TV in Nigeria.
Well,
can you hear me?
I can hear you now, Busola, clearly. Well, Busola, let's take a look at them. Cote d'Ivoire withdrawing from the AFCON Under-20 Championship as hosts. This is worrisome. Tournaments like this has been, you know, a field for African players to play or have an opportunity at the highest stage. How does this affect, you know, continental football generally?
I was a bit disappointed when I saw the news this morning about Cote d'Ivoire withdrawing. Although CAF were not explicit enough to give the reason for them withdrawing. But everybody had thought that since Cote d'Ivoire hosted the last Nations Cup, and we all saw how wonderful the tournament was, we all felt that it was going to be a time whereby we could see another wonderful African Under-20 championship in Cote d'Ivoire. But unfortunately, they are no more hosting the tournament again, and now we are hoping for Egypt to host it. I think it's really a very, 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 very bad thing, to be honest, because we know that we need to play these games ahead of the World Cup later in the year. And we know that the last 4 teams, which is the semi-finalists and the finalists, automatically goes to the World Cup. So we need to play the tournament as soon as possible and also prepare teams that would go and represent Africa in the World Cup. But I think we have a very good country in Egypt that probably would definitely come in. I don't think Morocco will be ready to host the AFCON under-20 because definitely they're preparing for the Nations Cup themselves in December. So hopefully we could see what would happen with Egypt taking on the tournaments.
Now, what do you expect, from the under-20 championship by the time the Confederation of African Football, CAF, eventually announces a new host in terms of talent, scouting, and all others? What do you expect?
We're waiting for the under-20 list this week or maximum next week. But unfortunately, there's so much uncertainty now, and we don't know when the list would come out. We know this tournament is a tournament that's produced a lot of players. We know currently now we have players like Daniel Rega, who is now playing in Norway, part of this under-20 team. So the under-20 team has always been a tournament that's produced very, very young, talented players. A lot of players from the under-17, they go to the under-20, and from the under-20, most of them get professional contracts abroad. And of late, remember when we won the under-20 in Benin Republic, I think that was in 2000. We've not really done a lot in terms of winning these age-grade tournaments, apart from doing very well in under-17. But I think with the coach we have, which is a very, very good coach, I think we can definitely hope and see how we can win most of these tournaments. Although we have issues with North African teams like Morocco, Egypt, they do very well in age-grade tournaments. But I'm looking forward to Nigeria performing very well in the under-20 AFCON.
I must say a very big thank you, Busola Akinyemi, for finding out time to talk to us on the program all the way from London.
Yeah. Have a good evening.
All right.